Today we are going to study chapter number 6, Life Process. Now, when we are dealing with this chapter, you can see life and process. What is life? Okay, life is a cell-based, self-regulated, complex system of molecules where chemical reactions are going on all the time that leads to its maintenance, growth, responsiveness and reproduction. Now once again, what is life? Life is a cell-based, self-regulated, complex system of molecules where chemical reactions are going on all the time that leads to its maintenance, growth, responsiveness and reproduction. Now, in terms of this life, we also deal with movements. That is the self-sustained movements. Self-sustained movements. They are a major criteria that distinguish living being from non-living ones. Next, what we talk about, simple words like movement. What is movement? What do you understand by movements? Okay, movements we can accompany by the change in position. Okay, so what we can write? Change in position are called movements. Now, on the basis of this movement, we can categorize this movement into two: visible movements and invisible movements. Visible movements are changes in position with respect to body parts. Now, the second kind of movement is invisible. Invisible movements are those changes in position which cannot be observed by human senses. Like for example, entry of nutrients into cell. Now, life process we can define as the basic actions and functions of living beings, which are essential for their survival. Next. Now our next topic deals with nutrition. Okay. Now, students, do you know about nutrition? There are various type of nutrients which we have in our diet. Okay, like carbohydrates, fats, vitamin, etc. Now, what is nutrition? Okay, it is the process to transfer source of energy from outside to the body of an organism for maintaining living structures. Okay, on the basis of nutrition, we can categorize it into two types. The first one, autotrophic nutrition, and the second, heterotrophic nutrition. Now we will deal with autotrophic nutrition. Now, some organisms use simple food material obtained from inorganic source. Like you all know about the inorganic sources plant produce. Okay. So inorganic sources are the carbon dioxide, the water, etc. So obtained from inorganic source in the form of carbon dioxide and water. These organisms are termed as autotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called autotrophic mode of nutrition. Example, as I told you, in case of plants. Now, when we are dealing with this autotrophic nutrition, it is again categorized into two types. One we know as photosynthetic autotrophs, and the second as chemosynthetic autotrophs. Now, photosynthetic autotrophs means like green plants. So, green plants fulfill their carbon and energy requirements by the process of photosynthesis using sunlight as a source of energy, and such organisms are called photoautotrophs. Okay, we will deal with it further. Example as in case of plants. Chemosynthetic autotrophs. Now, what is chemosynthetic autotrophs? Chemo means chemical. Okay, synthetic means synthesize, and autotrophs means they prepare their own food. Okay, for example, as in case of bacteria, okay, they utilize chemical energy instead of light energy to synthesize their organic materials or food. Okay, and such organisms are called chemoautotrophs. Now, when we are dealing with these two, I want you all to understand a term known as photosynthesis. Do you remember? Have you studied it before? So here also in this class also we have to deal with photosynthesis. Now what is that? It is a complex process by which green plants synthesize organic food in form of carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. Now, reaction is there. So, the reaction is as follows: 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O. Now, what is needed? Sunlight and chlorophyll. This is needed. Okay, this is needed. So C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Understood? So this is needed. Now what it produce? This C6H12O6, this is known as glucose. Okay, this is known as glucose. In plants, this is stored in form of starch. In animals, it is stored in form of glycogen. Understood? Now, events. Now you should know about the events which is occurring during this photosynthesis. So, events that occur during photosynthesis. This is very important, children. This is very important topic. You have to prepare this for your board exams. Understood? What do you mean by photosynthesis and the event that occur? So you have to know about this reactions also. Now, the first point for this event is what happens actually while preparing the food. The first point is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Now, where is this chlorophyll present? This chlorophyll is present. You all know about that green color pigment which is present in plants. That is the chlorophyll. Okay, so chlorophyll have the tendency to absorb the light energy. Understood? The second event which occur is conversion of light energy to chemical energy. Okay, this light energy now when enters into this plant pigment, okay, they convert this into chemical energy, and one more step happens in this process, that is splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, that is when we are writing that equation, 6CO2 plus 12H2O, this 12H2O splits up, understood, splits up into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, the third point is the reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Okay, the third point is reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates, that is CO2. CO2 is reduced to C6H12O6. So reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Okay. Now the basic requirements of photosynthesis. You all have understood about this reaction. So what is the basic requirement? One is the chlorophyll, the another one is the carbon dioxide, then the water is very important, then light is very important. Okay, light is very important. So the basic requirements of photosynthesis. So it depends on four main type of things. Okay, the first one is the chlorophyll, the second is the carbon dioxide, third is water, and fourth is light. Okay, so chlorophyll, what is that? It is a primary photosynthetic pigment which take part in conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Now, photosynthetic pigments, where does this occur? You should know about that. Photosynthetic pigment occur in cell organelles. In previous chapter, you have studied about these all things. Okay? So, photosynthetic pigment occur in cell organelles called chlorophyll. chloroplast. Okay, so this chloroplast are the site of photosynthesis. This chloroplast. Okay, understood? So whenever we are seeing a leaf, do you remember? Have you seen a leaf? Yes, no? So this look like this kind of things, structure. Okay. Okay. This. A leaf. So when we are taking the cross section of this leaf, okay, cross section, when we cut that cross section of the leaf, we find chloroplast. Okay, how we can see? It is in the form of green dots. Okay, in the palisade and spongy cells of mesophyll. Okay, schematic representation of cross section of leaf. Okay, so the upper side you can see the epidermis. Okay, the upper surface which we see on the leaf side, that is this. Okay, upper epidermis, in which is coated with waxy cuticle. Inside it is the mesophyll cells and the palisade cells. Okay, mesophylls and palisades. And the lower side is also the lower epidermis, which contain this stomata. Understood? So this is the cross section view. In between you can see the spaces, they are the air space. Okay, now this is the cross section of leaf. Now have you assumed why desert plants take carbon dioxide at night? Why desert plant take carbon dioxide at night? Actually, what happens during the daytime? During the daytime, they use up this carbon dioxide. Okay, use up the carbon dioxide for the preparation of photosynthesis. But during the night, no photosynthesis occur. So what happened? These desert plants, they convert or they form an intermediate compound known as malic acid. What they form? They form malic acid. Okay? Clear? The second thing which is needed is the carbon dioxide. So, it is needed by plants for the process of photosynthesis. The land obtain, okay, the land or the atmosphere, we can say, is having this CO2. Okay, from the breathing process, okay, of animals, humans, etc., as well as the combustion or the volcanic eruption, they all liberate the carbon dioxide. So what happened? This CO2 is absorbed by the plant. Okay, this also is available through the various process which I told you. Huh? So carbon dioxide enters into plant. From where it enters? Okay, see here the cross section. Cross section here, the lower epidermis. Lower epidermis is having the stomata, tiny pore. Okay, called stomata. So carbon dioxide enters into plant through tiny pores present on the surface. Okay, surface of the leaves called stomata. Now when we are dealing with this stomata, you should know the diagram of stomata. Okay, where this stomata is located. Understood? These all are important points. Okay, so I'll tell about the stomata. Each stomata each stomatal pore is surrounded by a pair of guard cells. Understood? So what we call the where the pore is there, stomatal pore is there, the outer surface, we call it as guard cells. Okay, the guard cells in dicot. Do you know about the seed? Dicot and monocot. So in dicot, like in case of kidney bean, contain nucleus, cytoplasm and many chloroplast. These guard cells are enclosed within by subsidiary cells. Okay, so it is enclosed by subsidiary cell. I am drawing the diagram, just you go through this. This is the pore, this is the guard cells, this is a diagram of dicot. Okay, and outside is this subsidiary cells. Okay, subsidiary cells, and inside this guard cells, this is the stomatal pore. Okay, here nucleus is there, nucleus, and a structure known as chloroplast is present. Okay, and this guard cell is filled with cytoplasm. Filled with cytoplasm. This is the subsidiary cells. Okay, so now this is very important for your exam point of view. So you have to go through this diagram well. You have to study about it. Understood? And one more important topic related to this is the opening and closing of stomatal pore. This is an open stomata. Okay, the closed one is also there. I will draw this diagram and show you. This is closed. Okay, that is the guard cell is closed one. So the opening and closing of stomatal pores is controlled by the guard cells. Understood? The opening and closing of stomatal pore is controlled by the guard cells. When, now please note it down, very important, when water flows into the guard cells, they swell. Okay, they swell or they enlarge in size, become curved, and causes the pores to open. On the other hand, when the guard cells lose water, they shrink. That is, become straight. The second diagram which I have shown, this is of closed. Okay, closed stomatal pore. So they shrink, become straight. Okay, they become straight and close the stomatal pore. Now in this case, a large amount of water is lost from the cells of the plant. Okay, or cells of the plant or leaves. Okay, so when the plant does not need carbon dioxide, okay, and want to conserve water, this stomatal pore is closed. Okay, and one more thing, the oxygen gas produced during photosynthesis Okay, the oxygen gas produced during this photosynthesis also goes out or released out through stomatal pores of leaf. Okay. Next is the water. That is also an important thing which is needed during the photosynthesis. So, land plant. Okay, land plant, or we also know it as terrestrial plant. Okay, absorbs water from soil, okay, through roots. The absorbed water is transferred to the photosynthetic area, that is the leaves, okay, through a system known as xylem, okay, which is a vascular bundle present inside the plants. Only a small quantity of water is used in photosynthesis, and you all know I told it that water splits into its component with the help of light energy, like H2O, that will be splitting, okay, hydrogen and oxygen. So water splits into its component with the help of light energy, okay, and this phenomena is called photolysis of water. That is, photo means sunlight, lysis means breakdown. So this H2O is breaking down into H and O, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Understood? So when it is splitting up, we call this term as photolysis. Next is the light. Now, what is the source of light for the plant? The sunlight. Okay. So, it is the source for photosynthesis. Okay. So, light has two functions. What does light does? First is what I previously told you about, photolysis of water. It does that, as well as excitation of water. This it does. Okay.